Hey guys, it's me T coming at you with a reading for today. Um Today's the health day. Today's Wednesday, my lucky day. Happy hump day too. Hump day, hump day, hump day. What was I gonna say? Mike. What was I gonna say? Yeah, today's a super magical day. It is all about the new moon. I believe it's in Pisces because that would make sense. I was urged to come on here at exactly 7:22, which is, for all you Jews out there, it's the God number, right? It's the G-O-D, Grandmaster G. And it was so funny because I felt the urge and then I saw the clock and I was like, oh, here's what's happening. And I was like, and I haven't felt the urge in a very long time. So, so this is very divinely guided. It just took me a little bit to kind of set up everything as usual, right? What was I going to say? So happy new moon. What else? The vibes have been hilarious. Okay. Like it's been all over the place. I feel like there's a lot coming through, light wise, you know what I'm saying? There's just a lot coming through, a lot of downloads, a lot of, shakeups in a good way. They could be pretty extreme and intense, but they're really for like the best of all, for the highest and best good of the person that's going through it. Yeah, it's like, it's very interesting. They're like super fresh vibes. This is what I'm trying to say. Super fresh vibes where it's like people have not even dealt with this type of vibe, these types of vibes before. I might have mentioned that in another video, but I'm like, today is extremely felt. I'm super excited for them because of the fact that, like, super excited that it's here because of the fact that it's like, I feel as though there have been people that love fresh vibes. And I was telling my aunt this morning, I feel as though Scorpios, Tauruses, and Capricorns really needed this like turnaround of events. That's all I gotta say, because it's been a little tough on them. I don't know who else out there, maybe even Pisces, since we're in Pisces season, maybe they were also kind of going through some tough shit, but I'm just so happy that like things are changing up and just, you know, people are feeling like it's so needed. Like whatever is happening in terms of the unrootedness, like it's a shock factor, but it's good. Do you know what I'm saying? And you might not even have it physically be going on in your world just yet, but it's this feeling that, okay, there's like a lot coming through energetically, like, you know, with all this light. And then, you know, it's going to bubble some emotions to the top that's going to kind of create a lot of positive change. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so it's like really all sunny vibes and it's all positive change. But it's like, I've been reading up on like, you know, the different energies of this moon, and they were saying how it's a lot of stuff that's like been kind of really in the depths of you kind of put down, like just kind of just like compacted within yourself, is now actually freeing itself up and bubbling to the top, which is kind of what I was getting in another video as I'm doing this. I'm like, oh my God, I did that in another video where it really does remind me of like a fish kind of like, you know, fish Pisces season where it's like, it's kind of freeing itself. So, and I've been getting a lot of like Finding Nemo, you know what I'm saying? So Finding Nemo, that type of vibes where it's like you just keep on swimming, and it's just like you'll get to wherever you need to go. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so maybe that would be a good movie to watch around this time. I just saw 404, so thank you, A-Team, for that highly regarded suggestion. What was I gonna say? Finding Nemo, Finding Dory. I watched Finding Dory first. So, and then I haven't actually watched Finding Nemo because every time I went to go watch Finding Nemo, I was like super excited about it, and then I ended up falling asleep. And I was thinking maybe it's because of the water element, like it kind of made me just like pass out every time I went to go watch it. All right, so I'm super excited to get into this. Let me just ask A-Team. We are now asking for the highest and best 2 cards to be placed at the top of this deck. In regards to what describes the unique, natural, native and authentic energies of today's numerological, still can't say that word, energies along with the universes and how they apply to the health area of our lives. Thank you. I think I went too far, but do I stop shuffling the cards right here right now? Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Ah! Hold on, give me a second, guys. Do I stop shuffling the cards right here right now? Do I stop shuffling the cards right here right now? Do I stop shuffling the cards right here right now at all? All right, they're telling me yes. All right, cool. Took a little time, but we got there. We got there. Okay, so, oh, this is interesting. This came up in somebody else's read today too, so it's like we know we're on the right track. And maybe it wasn't even for today, or maybe it was for today. I can't remember. Do we discuss the bottom of the deck? All right, so they're saying yes. Oh shit, that's exciting. Oh my god, guys, I didn't even realize that the new moon was coming up, and we've been getting the moon card. That's the crazy part. So it's coming up at the, thank you for the confirmation. It's been coming up at the bottom of the deck, and I'm like, or it came up at the bottom of the deck today, but it's been coming up in the readings up until 2 days ago, because I definitely, and I would go into why I think one day I was definitely energetically not feeling like I couldn't, like I was super exhausted one of the days. That was the first day I wasn't on here. So that was 2 days ago. And then yesterday I was energetically getting not to. So I was like, and not energetically, but more so I was downloaded, like, you don't have to go on today. And I was like, okay, cool. So that's why I'm back on today. Because like everything is divinely guided. Now what we're going to do is we're going to still talk. We're going to whip out at least 4 cards. So that's going to take a little bit. But you know, as I gain practice with these specific tarot cards that I have in my possession, we are going to get faster. But as of right now, we're kind of slow. So just bear with me, okay? And I don't mind slow, but I just feel like the people, like the people that resonate with me, like it's like we're very well balanced, but sometimes we just want the information quick. Like we're like very like, when it comes to information, we just like want to inhale it and call it a day, you know? So, but for me, it's like, this is more of like a hangout, all right? So let's just view it as that, okay? So the Hanged Man on the yin aspect of life is you just really laying low today. I feel like today was a day of, again, we're also in Mercury retrograde, which is a perfect time to like go on vacation, just get away from things. Really, anything that starts with RE is like in the work. So like relax, retreat, reintroduce, like anything that kind of comes out like that is definitely Hanged Man vibes. For some reason I am getting, and I don't know if this is what the Hanged Man stands for, but it's like I think it might be. It's like you're in limbo with a decision also, right? So you could be like stressing out a little bit, but I see like the exhale within this whale, and this whale is like super powerful as a symbol. So I might have to like look into the book to see. They're saying yes, do that, to see like what it actually depicts, because it's super big, and it's a joyous whale though, right? So it's like whatever you're stressing out about, you're just kind of like exhaling on a really just like intense and blessed level. There's also something that's coming to me where it's like the element of fire and water is like steamy. So there's like something steamy on the horizon that I feel is coming up. Okay. This is the card number 12. 12 is balance too. Like it's double balance, like where it's like balance. It's interesting. How do I find it? Okay, so the number 14 can also be depicted as balance. But the number 12 to me is also balanced because it's I don't know how to explain it. Just take it for what it is, because I don't think I even want to go into it, because I don't even know what I'm trying to even say there, but that's what I'm getting, is that there's this kind of like extra balance coming through. And what I'm feeling is more so it's from you, it's from me, possibly your counterpart. But so it's like four-way, it's like a four-way balance. It's like you, your counterpart, then it's like your ancestors, his ancestors, and it could be even a +4 where it's like inside of you, the inner children within you, along with the inner children within them, right? So it could be like a lot of balance going on and a lot of rebalancing going on, okay? So, and I'm so glad that the whale came out, because the whale is depicting all these rainbows, and today is health, so it's healing. And so it's like all the aspects of you that haven't been healed. And again, the whale kind of like puffs out of I was like, out of his crown. But like, I mean, I guess so, in a sense, right? The whale puffs out of his crown. So it's kind of like, what I'm getting is kind of like, again, when I was getting like fire and water, it's kind of steamy. So it's kind of like a dragon-like essence, because dragon is like fire, right? But I feel like he can also, like, if a dragon, if you can imagine a dragon huffing and puffing, like he could be huffing and puffing some steam, right? So my whole thing is, it's like there is something that you're like exhaling, but what am I trying to say here? Hold on, there's something like coming up, bubbling to the top. I don't know, and I'm going to know in just a second, but what was I going to say? But I also want to say there's something coming out. Oh, here's what they're having me imagine. So when I'm saying steamy, it's like all those little fragments of water that kind of come out from the steam, right? It's kind of like you are breaking up your issues in a more fragmentalized way, which could be like in a smaller and a very detailed way, where you're like breaking down the problem to actually find the sunny solution. That's why the sun was standing out at me. So there is the sun coming out in many areas or aspects of your life, especially freeing you. Like you're being like imagine all these little specks coming out of his, I keep wanting to call it spout, but I forgot what it's called. So and it like, it's not air blower, it's whatever, guys. I can't think of these things in terms of what I'm trying to describe. But do you see here how the little dots are coming out, like in terms of the blowhole? Maybe that's what it's called, blowhole? No, there has to be more scientific way, but it's more scientific term to it, but whatever. So different specks are coming out, and it's like those are all your little issues that you've been fucking having an ordeal with. Like maybe you didn't know how to exhale them, and now they're being exhaled. But as you're exhaling them, and today I posted on Instagram, bless your stresses. So these could be all your little fucking stresses in life that basically the angelic realm is just bringing healing to. Like whatever you're stressing about is very, very soon going to be no longer, okay? Because they're all turning into rainbows. It's beautiful, you know? And actually, it's funny because the rainbow is kind of where the future is pointed. The future to me is like kind of to the east. Or to the right of a situation, right of a card. So on my side, that's how it is. I don't think it shows up that way on your side, but that's basically how it is. So what I sense is there's this feeling of like this freedom. Like there's this, the whale is joyous. He's like jumping out of the water. Like this is a healed sense of freedom that you feel, which is super beautiful. This also, the whale is blue, so it could be a lot like you're freeing up your communication within yourself, which is actually really interesting because I feel up until now, I personally, and I don't know if this is you too, but I personally feel as though there was something within me that was just like kind of putting the brakes on my communication, right? And I feel as now, like, even though we're in Mercury retrograde and, you know, you kind of really have to slow down to kind of keep caught up, if that makes any sense. in this essence, I feel as though something was freed within me so that I can flow better. Okay, so there's a lot of like flowing in communication, which is kind of like, what is it like, counter, well, I'm gonna say counterbalancing. That's kind of true. Counterbalancing what people usually say about Mercury retrograde, which is like your shit is like your communication is like all over the place. It doesn't, you know, sometimes there's just a lot of miscommunication that happens around this time. But I feel as though since we actually just came out of a lot of heart chakra clearing, this was part of the reason. And actually I see that in the pendulum. Is that green? Yeah, you see the pendulum? It's like the heart chakra clearing that came from above has now really allowed you, it really kind of grazed as it went back and forth, you know, with the element of the angels. It really kind of like, I want to say it kind of cleared out all of your chakras. And today could have been a chakra clearing day too. I know also as a Hanged Man card that this really, today was a very much so, like I said before, it was a relaxed type of energy, but you also could have been really like feeling the need to nap a lot, like kind of like a little baby, to be like really gentle with yourself, because these vibes that are coming in are of the light, are purely angelic, they're pure. And what made me think of it is that as you're sleeping, it's like as you were napping or as you were just taking these naps throughout the day, or just one nap or whatever, like however your life is kind of designed, or however it rolls. Like it basically, like today is like my free day, like for real free day, so I got to do whatever the fuck I wanted. And basically I was like sleeping. I was sleeping like almost all day because that's what I was feeling that I needed to do. Like I went in and out of like naps. It was crazy. And I normally don't do that, but I was just like, listen, I'm not going to fight it, because if I can, I will, you know? And so long story short, I feel like while I was sleeping, because when I woke up, oh my God, I woke up out of like the naps in such an amazing way where it was just like, it was just so gentle and angelic and just like revived and quiet and just peaceful, right? Inner peace. So that's the whole thing. It's like they were probably working on you as you were napping or as you were hanging out. You also might feel the need to be like, when we're talking about balance, you also might feel the need to basically like kind of be balanced with the social aspect of your life, like be with people and then not be with people, be with people and then not be with people. Like that's also something that came up today that I feel is very important for people to understand, that is not something that you should call that's not something you should label antisocial. That's something that you should just say, I am blessed to have, in terms of feeling, because of the fact that when you are not with people, you are actually saying yes, that you want to be with your divine creator, which is quiet time, which is with you and your creator to connect better. But also it's that inner peace that you're giving yourself. So it's really positive in terms of, you know, you being a, you know, antisocial person. It's not really being antisocial, because usually the people that are depicted antisocial are actually loving. They love the socialness when it comes up, but they need, and actually they say that geniuses are, yeah, Bako, hold on one second, guys. Molly. Ok, radim sada nešto, onda ću malo kasnije. Jel to u redu?
Dobro.
Ok, hvala.
Samo vodi računa.
Važi, jel ti ideš na spavanje?
Yes.
Čekaj, trebaš pile. So, čekaj sam malo ovako, ja ću ti dati, ok? Okay, so, I wish I could pause this, but I can't. It's okay, it's fine, we're gonna keep on going. So what was I gonna say? Sorry about that, guys. What was I gonna say? Oh, I love my aunt. Thank you, aunt. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna. So the what was I gonna say? Back at it. Yeah, I was gonna also say that geniuses are basically they like need naps, which is crazy. I wasn't gonna mention that, but I was like, thanks, 18. They need naps, and geniuses also have a very antisocial aspect to them. How other people would label them antisocial, but to me, it would be a more focused time, like in terms of them working on their craft, but also more focused time to kind of because when you're working on your craft, you're being in creative mode, and when you're in creative mode, you're usually in your quiet zone just to kind of like receive the information, the intuitive information on which way you're going to flow, and then just kind of apply it to what you're doing, right? So you kind of need that quiet focus time to kind of do, you know. So some people don't understand that. Some people also don't stick to that, and I very much so stick to it because when I'm getting to do it, I have to do it, you know. Yeah, so I can be really kind of strict about that, but it's also in terms of just trusting that other people will be understanding that it's something that you need to do for yourself and for the world around you, and then the bigger picture of the world, right? Because when you work at your own craft, that's something, and today could have been one of those days where it's like it's your health day, but what makes you feel healthy is you literally can be crafting something, right? You can be healing yourself through a craft, and then also having it come out into the world. So that's another way that you could be healing yourself, and also another form of expression. Communication doesn't have to be all, you know, expression, like verbal expression. It could be healing in any way it comes. So it could be like you're making something, or you're, you know, it doesn't even, like, whatever comes to you. I'm not going to toss ideas out because it's not coming to me. But yeah, I mean, it also actually could be laughing too. So I was going to mention laughing, like, as right before I even shuffled, that, you know, it's very important for you guys to laugh, because if your stresses are coming up, I know there's going to be a lot of breathing coming out, which is, super interesting, because I've been breathing like heavily today just to get it all out. Like, all right, this has to come out of my system to then rebalance, right, with the green and the blue. So it's like rebalancing your heart, but rebalancing your expression, and it's just gaining a lot of purity and clarity out of it, which is beautiful. Thank you, 18. They're giving me the heats. Hold on a second. Uniqueness, okay. I also see the snowflake as a spider web. That one in particular. So I like having my spider web, having my snowflake as a reminder all year round. Like like I said in one of my other videos, like I found it super weird. Like old Tina would be like, "The fuck are you doing with a snowflake mug all year round? Like, you crazy, you know?" But now I'm kind of just like, no, man, that's symbolic to who you are, and you have to remember that, you know? So, are we moving on to the next card? Yes. All right, so the next card on a yang level is the Popess. The Popess. All right, this is the number 2. I love, wow, this is a crazy card. Like, these artists who came up with these are hilarious. So here's the number 2, which is also the number 11, right? 1 and 1. So here's what I want to say. That there's just so much going on here. I wonder what this is. They're telling me to go into it. I don't know, but I don't even know what. Okay. So, this is just a hilarious depiction. Like, just look at that for a second. So, right away I'm seeing a blue and red. Okay, so that's basically what I want to say must be. Sorry guys, I just twisted on my chair. That wasn't me doing anything down there, okay? So, what was I going to say? So, long story short, I want to say, all right, so this is like kind of like, I don't like any of those labels. Like, actually, I came up with a new label, and here's what it is. Do I go into it? Yes. All right. So I came up with a new label. You know how people say soulmates? So there's like soulmates, there's twin flames. And today I was thinking, I was like, that's all beautiful and whatever, but I was like, I want to say star mates, okay? That's like who I feel like I would really kind of be more, what's it called, applicable to, because of the fact that, so what I want to say here is like, this is drawing in your star mate, because I feel like, we're all, this is again, this snowflake is a star essentially, right? So, I mean, it could also be a star, and then like, but it's also just like I said, like a spider web, but it also starts like even a spider web would start like a star. Like this is kind of like star-esque, right? And then it kind of, when it's more like built up, it turns into something like this, right? So the whole thing is, it's like, I just feel like since I'm like a unicorn and unique and just own that shit about me, it's like I'm gonna just call it what it is, and I'm gonna call myself a shiny star, right? That's what it is. And all stars, just like snowflakes, are very yes, we have one star like depicted, but like the whole thing is, it's like you can draw a star in so many different ways, right? So retrograde is bringing in a lot of blessings, so take it as it resonates. I'm just going to stick to what I have, what comes out and what I say, and I'm not going to even try to go into explaining it all, because sometimes it doesn't need it, sometimes your heart just needs to understand it, even though it doesn't rationally need to make sense. Do you get what I'm saying? So long story short, do I go into that though? Oh, that's interesting. So they're telling me, here's how to look at it in a better way. Usually I can come up with things like, but I couldn't actually at that point, because I'm like, that didn't make any sense. All right, here's how they want me to depict it. Celebrities, they're stars in their essence, right? But not every celebrity is the same looking, okay? So it's kind of like we are that essentially, right? We are stars within our own lives, and we don't look like other celebrities. We just are who we are, right? So that's how they wanted me to express it. So that's how we're uniquely different, but yet we're also stars, right? So long story short, or short story long with me all the time. It's basically, so what's coming in, very interestingly enough, is there's a lot of blessings from a lot of balanced blessings coming in from the divine. You don't see it, but there's like, again, these fragments in the back that are kind of like, they're like little snowflakes or like little stars. I don't know what they are, but I think they're stars, but they could be all different shapes and sizes or whatever. I don't know why I just thought of, the little soup with the stars in it for kids? Like, that's what I feel like these are right now. So again, the star stuff is coming through, right? Star specks, okay? So, so long story short, this is depicting the balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine, okay? Then we're talking about essentially stars here for some reason. Oh, star mates is what I wanted to say. So we're gonna call it star mates here on this channel from now on, because I don't really like soulmates. I don't like twin flames. I don't like what I even kind of, my long ass name of it. Basically my long ass name of it could just kind of funnel into this name of which is a star mate. Okay, so long story short, it's basically talking about your star mate coming through, and on a big level, where it's like all of this white again is purity from your A team. So it's coming, there's something coming in that I want to say, since I'm looking at the background, it's like very unknown to you, okay? Very unknown. And again, I'm looking at the background, which is kind of that midnight-esque purple, like purple in terms of spirituality, but also the unknown, because there's a divine feminine woman here that's basically like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like she's like tasseling milk out of her tits. Like it's hilarious. So like, I don't know what that is. I really can't, like, A-Team, help me out here because I don't know how to depict that. It's just, all I see and all I'm getting is that she's a very abundant woman. They're telling me to turn to the book. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the book. Yeah, she's just a very abundant woman. Like, she's also, like, mystical, where it's, like, it's, like, she's mysterious. So, and again, unknown because she's, you know, dark, but it's not a bad dark, it's just, like, unknown. Give me a second, guys, because, again, in this book, I really should label it, but I didn't. Death, Force, what are we? Oh, number 2. Sorry, that could be so much easier. Okay. So, the Popess. The Popess can fascinate in a very particular way. In the reading as well, if it often indicates a stagnant situation that needs important decision that should be taken by the I don't know, Querant. I don't know what that means. I still have yet to figure it out, but I'll figure it out today, hopefully. To get out of his immobility. Damn, that's crazy. All right. So that's really interesting. So what I'm seeing is that there's a rebalancing of sorts happening within a person to, again, you're dealing with the stresses of your life today a little bit, right? To rebalance them and to kind of make them better. But then at the same time, there might be like a main kind of issue that you're working with, and long story short, like this is the issue that you're kind of you're paying more attention to, and there's like one basic decision that you're bringing an important decision to. Or I don't know what I just said there. Sorry, because it was like the background that was like interfering with my mind, but I was trying to talk over it. So I'm going to just say it again. So this woman here is basically the one important, just one simple, one possibly big ordeal in your life that you're needing to make a decision about to kind of, like I said, like get out of it, right? Get out of your stuckness with it. All right. So, important decision that should be taken by I'm guessing the person that needs, hey, whoever stopped in, I can't see your name. And I've yet to pull out, let me see if I can pull out, I'm going to pull out, thanks for commenting, by the way. I didn't see who you are, so I'm going to pull out my phone because I haven't done that. But, yeah, we're talking about the Popus card and how, the Querant is usually most likely, I haven't figured out who that is, but it's the person that's probably, like, it's you. It's who we're talking about. So this is basically the A-Team helping you rebalance yourself within your divine feminine, divine masculine to basically make a very important decision in terms of a big, like a life event type of way. And it's probably regarding, definitely, like, that's what I'm sensing here, definitely regarding, like, your star mate, right? So that you can kind of move forward and you can, yeah, so that you can move forward. And I am getting a heat confirmation about that, which is also, to me, because what I'm also getting is it would make sense. It would make sense because tomorrow is a day of, and thank you for the like, that was really sweet. I just saw that. Tomorrow's a day of divine, like, we're talking about divine fame and reputation, along with in the PM it will be love, relationships, and all that jazz, right? Love, relationships, commitment, and that kind of stuff. So it makes sense that this is kind of like a yang thing today that, like, is maybe on your mind more so than the other issues that are kind of like smaller, okay, because depicted with the little fragments, like I said before, from like the spray of the blowhole. But the whole thing is, also, I feel as though it's kind of like a bigger decision in your life because it's not allowing you to concentrate in your life. That's what I feel like. It's just not allowing you to, like, like, there's a bigger scenario in your life where it's, and again, I just posted something on my Facebook page about like a new kind of new expression of mine when it comes to love. Okay, so definitely check into my check into my Facebook page, because there's something there that I was talking about in terms of balance. And why did I say that though? There was a reason. There was a reason. Sorry guys, I lost my train of thought. To check into the Facebook page, because I went in on something. Oh, about how no one so I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna like just go with it. But basically, since we're talking about love here, not many realize like what goes into love and how love can kind of, as beautiful as it is, there are ways to kind of what's it called? Not, I want to say navigate, you know, your way through life with it, but sometimes it kind of like overtakes us a little bit, like on the brain level. But when it's in our heart, especially when it's in our heart, it's like also on the brain, right? So it's kind of like I'm getting extreme and massive amount of heat as I'm saying this. So it's just kind of like, this is you having a lot of like love life, stuff on the brain. So it's kind of like you have to make a decision to kind of clear it out, like to have it move forward, so that you can literally kind of like live in a more well balanced, like you can really take back your power and being more well balanced. But the whole thing is, it's like a lot of it requires, there's a lot of water action here, water and milk. So it's like interesting. It's like I don't know. I was just gonna say that it's like crying over spilled milk, like that type of essence, where it's just kind of like you love it so much, but you hate it so much. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things, like, but it's not a bad thing to have, but it's just something that you wish it would kind of like, you could flick it away or turn it on and off like a light, and you just can't. It's there all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one of the reasons why I kind of started, where I decided that I was like, you know what? Since this is like, I was gonna also say that milk and water is kind of like emotional, but I don't know if I do want to say that. I'd have to think about that. Water is definitely emotional. Milk, I don't know. Milk is like that cream, you know what I'm saying? That creamy essence. So it's kind of like, I want to say a better emotional. And not that one is better than the other, because I want to say you kind of need both, but vegans would not agree with me. And I understand that, I get that, but just I don't know. And maybe you don't need both, right? Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to say that, like, for instance, like kids need milk. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So it's like, or, you know, for their nutrition, and not to say that maybe as you grow older you don't need it or whatever. I don't know. But I know that kids, and that's actually interesting because they're all depicting kids right here. It's like, and you know, here's the thing too that I'm getting here is that I think that your divine feminine aspect of yourself in the unknown is maybe giving too much to the little kind of crybabies around you. Is that what I want to say? Like, kind of a little bit. Like, it's just like, you're this person, the Popus, and you're just like, okay, you're, and this could also be energy, right? This is not, this doesn't have to be material things. It could be energy. It's like you're too, that was interesting. Maybe you're too much giving with your energy, and it's pouring out of you, but that's only because on a very big scale, you are super, super, super like fulfilled on a very awesome level. And it's just kind of like everybody wants a piece. You know what I'm saying? So it's, and the thing is, it's like here, what I'm feeling is that this person actually doesn't mind overgiving, because the thing is, this person is exuding like a lot of, like joy and fulfillment energy. And she's thicker. She's like, I wanted to say saucy. She's saucy. I don't know why I wanted to say that. But oh my God, this is so interesting. Okay. She is like, she's like basically, what's the word when you're when you're uh what is it called? 18, what is the word that I'm looking for? You know what I'm looking for. I think it starts with an S. Son of a bitch. It's not gonna, yo, I don't know where these words go when I channel, dude. It's the craziest thing. So whatever. She's just, the word that I'm trying to come up with is, she's like obviously like, for like, she's expanded. You know what I'm saying? She's like, she's expanded, she's on the thicker side of life because she's fulfilled, she has more than, and she has more, like, it's just pouring out of her pores, put it that way, right? So she doesn't mind. She's like filled with purity. And what's funny is that she's depicted as like dark the unknown, but also inside of her is pure white essence. So it's like she's perfectly balanced within herself, right? But what's funny here is I'm getting, and I don't know if the artist even might have realized that he did that, or maybe they did it on purpose. I don't know. But do you see that there's like a cat? There's like a cat face right here. 2 eyes and a nose and a mouth, okay? So it's kind of like a cat. There's a cat essence, like a black cat essence. Filled a little bit. That is like, again, it would be like crying, but it's like a crying of joy, you know, of like not crying over spilled milk, but crying of joy. And it's interesting because cats drink milk, right? So it's just funny that like that center stage right there is like a cat. However, I'm also getting that the center stage here is the it's kind of like the solar plexus along with, well, it's kind of all of her midway sections, right? So I guess it's from the heart chakra down to, that's interesting, down to this, yeah, it's all of it. It's from the heart chakra down to the root chakra. That's basically very kind of, you know, I want to say is what you're feeling from these days, okay? I don't know what these yellow and blue babies are all about. I have no idea. Maybe it's like willingness to express again, you know? Let's see if is there anything else to this? They're saying yes, so hold on, let's see. Where's the Popus? And like it's saying one of the things I wanted to do in this book before I got on here, but I did not get a chance. Okay. Do I read any of this right now? Do I read the future? Okay, so here's the meaning where they want me to read it, and it's about the future, because I guess we're talking about future, right? Like now for another week on out. Sorry, guys. It says, the meaning becomes dual and opposite if the Popus is in this position. Okay. If the question is about a spiritual matter, the response is positive as it indicates the resolution of a problem that has been unsolved for a very long time. Beautiful. On the other hand, and what I'm getting there too, do I say it? Yeah, what I'm getting here too is that this is going to be resolved at the end of this video too. I don't know why I get that sometimes, but this is absolutely standing out. So it could be like tonight. On the other hand, and things are moving quick, so don't be surprised. That's, you know, and just be like, thank you when it happens. On the other hand, the response is negative if related to practical questions. We're not going to take it that way, so thanks, because we're not really, we're balanced in the practical and in the impractical. So, but we're way more for the impractical, which is positivity, right? So that's how some people see it, but I see it positive as a practical thing, though. So because without positivity, your life can't be as practical. To me, it is a pretty necessary feeling that you need to have in this life to get through it. That's all I gotta say. As regards to working is an unexpected interruption of the activity that is being performed. Holy shit, unexpected interruption of the activity, all right, that is being performed, and sudden. So again, like I was saying way before, like even in the beginning of this video, is that there are big things happening in terms of the universe just literally like it's literally doing its thing for you, like in sudden, quick, and unexpected ways. So I guess that's why we have to read that. Is there anything else to read? Okay. They're telling you to read the obstacle part, which is what you'll see what it is. It says it doesn't represent a real obstacle, but the difficulty to understand what is blocking a situation from evolving. In this case, an additional investigation to dispel this uncertainty will be required. Sometimes a real mystery surrounds the querent, which is probably the receiver of this reading, okay? Or the debated question. Oh, maybe that's either the querent is the receiver of this reading or a debated question. I don't know. So, yeah, so what it is telling you to do is look deeper within this heart chakra down to your root to really see where in the depths of you is this decision that's needing to be made. Okay, like what's blocking you from making this decision, so that you can unblock yourself, or what I like to say, unfuck yourself, so that you can unstuck yourself and make this decision to have it come out to the top, right? Beautiful. Are we stopping right there with that card? Yeah, that's, and guys, there's by the way, holy shit, this is hilarious. I kept on looking at this camel, and I'm like, why am I looking at this camel? Because there's nothing coming out of it from me. It's Mike. It's Wednesday. It's hump day, guys. Quick. Actually, sorry, the camel's not called Mike, but he's the Mike caller, okay? He's the Mikey caller. So there's the hump day guy. That's hilarious. Thank you, A-Team. Because I'm like, what is that? Like, what do I keep looking at that for? Like, nothing's coming to me. Oh my God. So hump day is a big day today. That's all I gotta say. It's a very lucky day. Amen. Okay. So then we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about the moon. So 10, 15, 18. So the moon is 18, okay, the number 18 card, which means that even with this new moon, I feel as though, there's not even look in the book, but I feel as though, again, there's a lot of unknown purely coming up, but also there's an essence of, in order to have these new beginnings that the new moon is bringing, there is endings that need to be made, which the universe is coming in and really fucking just ripping you out of the scenario, or it's ripping, or it's like there's something that basically the universe is causing as chaotic destruction in your life in some way or form. But it's an answer to your prayer that you may have put in from a very long time ago. All right, so that's all I got to say. Let me look into, and I don't know why but basically that's what the moon's doing, or so that, and again, the moon plus the Mercury retrograde, which is you putting in your prayer from a very long time ago, that's actually now making its way to a complete circle where, okay, they're using your prayer in a sense to kind of bring you fresh new vibes with this new moon. All right, so it's kind of like, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're airing your prayers through this retrograde, so that you can easily receive these new moon blessings. So it's beautiful. Let's look at the moon, which I literally just had open to, and then I moved my finger. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, the moon. Future. Future will be uncertain and obscure. It is more likely that the querent, the receiver, I'm going to just say it as that, even though I don't know what it is yet, didn't know exactly which his real objectives are. So it is more likely that the receiver didn't know exactly what his real objectives are. All right, so what I'm getting here is as you do your kind of wiggle dance, right, around this moon and trying to get adjusted to the energies, there is going to be uncertainty. There is going to be an obscurity to it. But what it's going to really reveal to you is what are your real values, and that's going to be your guiding northern light. Okay, so just as you pay attention to your values, you kind of side with them and you make your decisions based off of them. That's the overall energy, which is that's going to literally be your northern star to getting you to where you need to go. And also making clear-cut decisions about what your heart wants, because literally that's kind of like, that's allowing your heart to purify in the same way. When you stick to your values, virtues, vibes, and what's the other one? I always forget. Values, virtues, vibes, and not victims. Whatever. There's a fourth one there. Values, virtues, vibes, and I can't think of, and vows. No, values, virtues, vibes, and vows. Yeah. So when you stick to those for yourself, and you kind of, you know, it is your guiding light, but it also is your easy decision maker about different things. Which is truly the case. Sometimes it may not be, but at the end of the day, when you just stand with it or stand by it, you will see that later on in life, it took you in the right direction further down the line, and you are actually happier with your decisions made, right? What did I also want to say with that is that, at the end of the day, it also heals your heart and it purifies your heart at the same time. So please be courageous in sticking to those 4 things that you believe in, or that make up your belief system, and that'll get you through these moon energies, but also where you can literally not blame Mercury retrograde and just thank Mercury retrograde for doing its thing in your life, because it's all going to turn out to be more of a blessing than it is anything else other than that, okay? And again, as you stick with your virtues, values, vibes, and vows, okay? I'm trying to see if I repeated anyone. You literally become happier. You literally become, there's something else that I wanted to say there. You become more, that's what I'm hearing. But there's something else that I want to say there too. If I needed to say it, it would have came out. And if it needs to come out, it will come out. But it makes you a better person of integrity. It makes you a better person within yourself, and it kind of allows you to shine a lot brighter in this world. So, you know, again, the new moon is there's an essence to this bright white light coming into play. And it also allows you to, it's very interesting that in this life, as you stick to those 4 things that create your belief system, and we all have the same ones as humans, which is the truth, by the way. If you just were to stick to it, you literally, funny enough, you look like a unicorn in this life, because I'm going to say, unfortunately for now, but it's not so fortunate, because I feel like people are ways. They're changing their ways into a more positive level, because they're being called to do it, right? Because they no longer are kind of standing to be in that fucking annoying, like, happiness and misery, okay? That, because they've been in it for too long. They've been stuck in it for too long. So this is what I'm trying to say, is that if you stick to your all 4 of those kind of foundational things, you literally end up being a unicorn in this life, shining bright. Your happiness gets better. Your heart gets lighter. You just end up shining brighter, and it's just a beautiful thing. You look younger. You just vibrate and radiate better. And people, people like don't understand where it's coming from, but it's it's just so fucking crazy because it's like you would think that it's like, again, it's children 101, you know what I'm saying? But as you grow, people, I feel like, gain some sort of lack mentality or some bullshit excuse mentality where it creates them to be a victim, or I don't know what to even say about it. That like there's this competition that's created because, you know, at the same time as you grow older, there's no one there to watch over you, right? So you kind of create this fucking competition in your world where there really should not be at all, and you kind of end up gaining this bullshittery type of belief system that literally has you questioning your life, you know, as you kind of get deep within it. And when meanwhile, you don't even have to get to that level if you just gave a shit about yourself and about sticking to, you know, the commonality of all of us humans. Like, it's so fucking common sense. It's like common sense practicality. It's really that. It's not even, it's literally practical, you know, treatment of human beings all around, no matter what, no matter your status, no matter your, you know, it's just like, so I don't understand where it goes after a while, but I want to say that my theory is that after, when you know, when no one is it after a while, because you become a person of that, like no one's looking at me type of person. But the whole thing is you don't realize that there's this bigger eye watching over you, which is your creator. As they say, we are the children of God. So you are always going to be a child. So it's like embrace that essence of you, but also know, and it's not even by your parents. It's by your creator, you know? So it's like, don't do the stupid bullshit route. Do the fucking clean, pure and just simple route, right? Simple is practical, you know? And that's what it is. And stick to your childlike essence, because you are and always will be a child of the divine. So a divine child. So it's like, don't make your life more complicated than one. And that's what I feel goes on. As we get older, we complicate shit for ourselves. And then one day we turn around, muddy your own water. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. You can't shit in your own pool. You know what I'm saying? I have to say that because it's like, if you want to swim in your pool, you have to take care of your pool. You can't be like, oh, there's no other place to take a shit, let me shit in my pool and then swim in it at the same time, you know? Or a better version would be like, in my country, they have, what is it? There's a saying like, don't spit in the well that provides for you, which is you. The well provides for you. Why are you spitting in it? So, and that's also shit talking. Like when it comes down to like shit talking your bosses or whoever is really providing your bills, like they usually say that. So, all right. Are we moving on? Yeah. I think I said all that I needed to say, even though it came out so whacked out. But at the same time, we'll get it. We'll get it straight one day. That'll be the case. All right. So 18 from this card deck, we need the highest and best two cards that are fully supportive of the ones that we already have here. I was like, see, it's so funny. It's like I'm the total opposite. Like usually it's weird, and I don't know if it's, you know, it could be anything, but I feel like this Mercury retrograde is like, slow down. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool to slow down, but I actually feel sped up, which is crazy. Do I stop shuffling the cards right here right now at all? Okay. Do I stop shuffling the cards right here right now at all? Yeah, I felt that. I felt it. All right. So this is, do we talk about the bottom of the deck? All right, there's honey. No. This is beautiful because I love this deck, and I think that I was called upon to use this deck because these decks really work well together. I feel like they're really good, divine masculine, divine feminine, but also these have 88s on the back of them, which is basically magical manifestations, right? I think the number 88 is manifestation. Oh shit, hold on one second, guys. I gotta see something here. They told me to whip this out, but I didn't. So we're just gonna have to do it now. But, and the reason why I'm whipping them out, because I know that they're actually, that the number 88 is in here, and I think it's manifestation. Oh, it's abundance. Oh shit, that's even better. That's okay. So, shit, that's crazy. That surprised me. So this is basically, again, high vibed readings. So yeah, talk about inviting abundance into the readings. That's beautiful. That's excellent. Okay, so when it comes down to it, for the yin, we're getting Saturnus, which is the ruler of Capricorns. So, but also the rulers of, when I said virtues, vows, vibes, and values, okay, that's what this rule. That's what Saturn really rules. It's like it rules the. They're telling me to look in the book because I think there is a better way of saying it. But it rules the regulations and the standards of how to live your life. Okay, so which actually form as directionals for your life. So if you were to just like it, whatever you're teaching your kids in a good way, okay, if you were to just stick to that literally throughout your entire life, you would literally have a better life. So don't be the type of person that's like teaching your kids one thing and then living your life a different way because they feel that and they turn out to be like you, okay? Because they think it's okay. So it's just like, please don't do that. Just stick to what you're really teaching them. And I'm seeing heart right now, and I'm seeing stars right now. The words. So and expectations and control. So it's kind of like stick to that, stick to your teachings and really kind of be your own authority when it comes down to it, because you are your own blessing if you can stick to those rules that you put into place for your kids too. It's simply that easy. And people are like, oh, there's no like crazy way of like, there's no like, what do people love saying? There's no way to like, I can't think of it. It starts with an M. Guys, I'm like looking for the, like, I can't do all of this at the same time. So thank God people are not commenting right now, because I could not do that. I could not add that in. But what I'm saying is, yeah, people say that there's like no book, that there's no, I was gonna say module, but that's not it. There's no book on how to raise a kid or whatever, and it's like the kid, and there doesn't have to be a book, because the whole thing is, it's like if you literally just, again, like taught your kid all that you know, plus sticking to your values, virtues, vibes, and all that jazz, you literally are in control. You literally do, like, you end up teaching your kids the best way you know how, and both of you are happy, right? That's the whole thing. It's like mini me will do what the bigger authority figure in its life will do, and you guys both deserve to be happy. This is why they wanted me to look up the number, the not the number, but Saturnus, because it ends up being, well, one of the explanations ends up being on page 11, which is in the Yang card. Like, you need the small 11, I guess, to gift you the big 11. So yin and yang. Awesome. I also did 2 different decks, yin and yang, right? So cool. It says, let me just see, planetary ruler. Is this the one that I'm supposed to read right now? Yeah, I didn't think so. So again, I'm sorry guys, I'm looking for, we're almost there. Okay, here it is, Saturnus. Do I go into it? Yeah. While Jupiter represents boundless expansion and limitless opportunity, Saturnus represents containment, boundaries, and limitations. This god controls the reality of time passing and the movement through life toward death. Astrologically, Saturn brings structure, that's what I meant to say, structure and law, to the human endeavor, which is basically the Children 101 teachings, okay, that you're taught in school. Or that you're actually taught at home first and then in school, right? So, and both. So it doesn't matter where it comes from first. And sometimes it is at school and then brought home, right? Like sometimes it is that. So you have to just like, just be real to what it is. Which can be challenging as obstacles are faced and overcome. Now, actually, I don't agree with that, but let me see. Saturn brings structure and law to the human endeavor, which can be challenging as obstacles are faced and overcome. See, I don't agree with that because I feel as though the challenges and obstacles are actually in having no boundaries, which is, being unstructured and not paying attention to the law. Because the whole thing is, I always say this, like, we all kind of, I don't know where to start with. We live in this meat suit, right? But invisibly, our box is open. We are receivers. We have this antenna that's invisible. We are absolutely receivers. So we're like open boxes, okay? So the whole thing is, but it's like the containment is fine because of the fact that we kind of need to be individualistic as well, right? So it's a balance of both worlds. So when you have structure and law, people think it's an obstacle and it's challenging, but it more applies to your freedom, because I can tell you right now, the people that feel the most free in this life are very much mindful to their structure and to their law and to their limitations, and are very much in control of that, and put them first, actually, sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, to kind of know that they're there, that they can't do just like what do I want to call it, like things that are just inconsiderate shit. They can't do inconsiderate shit and then also feel free at the same time. It's like there are things that you kind of have to stick to feel even more free. You know what I'm saying? So let's take consideration for a second. Some people think, oh, I'm not going to be considerate because this guy's not thinking about me. But the whole thing is, it's like, or like, people don't think about me, so fuck it, I'm not going to think about anybody else. But the whole thing is, it's like you start thinking like that and you create this world of everybody's going to fucking shoot each other because no one is giving a shit about each other, right? So this is basically the type of world that you are creating. Now, if you are to be mindful of the fact that, hey, listen, there are boundaries that I need to kind of stick to as rules and regulations and law, but not so much where it's like rules, regulations, and law, but rules and regulations and laws like bring me freedom, and I'm so happy to stick to that shit. By the way, I always say rules and regulations were literally created for inconsiderate people, because some people don't know their boundaries. That's basically what it is. So you have to kind of stick to your boundaries. Also, Saturnus absolutely works with boundary work. So in case you need, to work on your boundaries, and kind of let people, like, teach people how to treat you, which is, again, fascinates the shit out of me, because it's like, how do you, like, if we all just understood that we all need to be treated the same way, you don't have to teach people shit, you know what I'm saying? But again, because people are inconsiderate, and think that that's freedom, it's actually not the case. It's actually the total opposite of you abiding by your rules and regs to feel the freedom, you know what I'm saying, that comes from, because you feel good. You feel actually like kind about it, you know what I'm saying? That I just think that we, like, there wouldn't, I don't know what I was talking about before, that basically you have to kind of to treat each other with considerations that I was talking about, but also that's the essential freedom that we need, and that's exactly how, I don't know, that we need to treat each other. Sorry guys, I can't, like, my mind is like a little all over the place. But there was something there in terms of structure. There was something there, structure. Oh, boundaries. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So boundaries is like, boundaries is something that we would all not have to actually put up if we were all to just pay attention to our own. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's pure, that's essentially pure freedom right there, but people don't realize that. So then when people, you know, when people show up like me, who create boundaries for other people that are not used to boundaries, or the people that are not used to boundaries see me as a bitch, but I'm just like, dude, but I would never do that shit to you. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is why we need this type of, this is why we need to call on Saturnus, because we've all lost our fucking minds. Okay. But the whole thing is, it's like we've all lost like this essence of like those that don't know how to treat other people right. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's fucking mind-boggling too, because, but again, it's just a lack of self-love that people haven't put at the forefront. Like, they have not yet put self-love at the forefront for them to realize that different people are going to, and maybe that's not true, because, okay, listen, you have to also realize that people go through different things in their life and with different experiences. Like, their life is meant to have different experiences, and through that is going to be how you create your boundaries, because of the fact that you're just going to be like, okay, and through that plus self-love, you're going to be like, okay, well, I just went through that. I don't like how that felt. I've learned from that lesson, and I'm basically not ever going to try to put myself into that position again. So here are my boundaries. Here's how I'm going to operate going forward. And you stick to them like fucking, I don't know why grenades came into my mind, but you stick to them like love bombs. Maybe that's why I needed to see grenades, but you stick to them like it's essential to your fucking health. So again, we're talking about health today, which is beautiful. It's essential to your health, and you're going to stick to them and not sway from them, and that's going to add to your happiness. You know what I'm saying? And so so other people can't sway you from it, because you've already lived your fucking negative results from not having those boundaries put up. And if you're smart, which I know you are, you're a fucking genius, you literally will keep those boundaries intact, and also maybe even go further with explaining to the people, like, if people see you crooked, like, why do you live like that? Then you just basically say, you explain to them out of vulnerability, if you feel like it, just be like, you know, I went through this, and I promised myself never to fucking be like that. That's why. That's exactly why. So you teach another in terms of how to treat you through your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So today you could have, what I'm getting here is, getting back to the reading, today is, I feel that you had put up a boundary in essence of your space, because you needed to be more pure, and more understanding of, basically you just needed to give yourself some time. Your own boundaries needed to kind of, you needed to kind of pull back in your life a little bit. So again, it goes really well with the Hangman, where you're giving yourself time off, but also time to yourself to literally like be not around people, okay, or as much. All right, so that's basically where that's coming in. And it's also, I'm going to add to, because the A team had to restructure your chakras. Okay, there was a healing that went out there, so that's probably why it happened. Saturn's energy is restrictive, defining what cannot or should not be done. Through examination of these limitations, and what I'm getting is illuminations of your limitations is going on tonight. So amen to that, because also sometimes you need to unlimit yourself in certain areas too, where you've purely given yourself hardcore restrictions. Sometimes that needs a little, you need to like lay off of those a little bit too, because sometimes it's too hard on the body, is what I want to say. Through examination of these limitations, Saturn points out what duty and responsibility we are accountable for in this lifetime. So again, there could be a lot of divine purpose ideas being downloaded into you as you gave yourself time away from people too. All right. Saturn brings both fear and the conquering of fear. When Saturnus appears, and what I'm getting from that is that you were praying a lot today in terms of yourself, but for other people. That came up, so that's interesting. And that's basically also in regards to their fear and conquering of their fear, but blessing them with love and conquering your love and having them conquer their life with love. And if you haven't done so already, please do that. That's what I'm getting. When Saturnus appears in your oracle reading, it is a sign that you are dealing with important milestones on your soul's journey through life. Yeah, that's absolutely life events, dude, are totally like they're totally happening, dude. It's happening. Are we moving on to the next one? They're saying no. Okay, so we are going to figure out what do we talk about Saturn and Pisces? Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So guys, take your time to breathe as I'm looking. For this. Wait a second. We're going to do, hold on. We're going to also do Luna. Are we doing Luna in Saturnus as well? Yeah, okay. So this is a reminder again, and it's very interesting because these cards have been coming up. So it's like, this is really, I guess it's like, again, Mercury reminder. So it's a reminder of what you need to know. So maybe this is why it's all coming up again. Luna in Saturnus. Do not fear the dark night of the soul. Light will return to your spirit in good time. So that's what's coming over us. It's like there is light coming through now. Also, what I was getting today is a lot of truths that have been hidden are now coming to the light. That's big. Let's do Luna and Saturnus, but I wanted to do Luna. I wanted to do, hold on, do I do Luna with hold on a second, guys. Luna with Pisces, but I don't know what Pisces element is. Neptunus. Oh, that's crazy. All right, so hold on. Let's do Luna with Neptunus because there's an, okay. This is a time of great psychic sensitivity for you. Trust your intuition and follow its guidance. Absolutely, that's awesome. I'm also going to read Moon right now. As the golden light, are you telling me not to read Luna? Okay, they're telling me now go. All right. So, I don't know why. Timing is everything, you know. As the golden light of the sun reveals the outer expression of personality, the silvery light of Luna, the moon, brings its subtle influence to the inner life. So, in interior life, right? This is the realm of emotions, intuition, and instincts. The unconscious mind is ruled by the moon, like the ocean tides pulled toward the dream light in constant and changeable motion. The moon enhances all psychic abilities, which is exactly how you are going to come up with decisions being made right now. Beautiful. Because decisions always need psychic abilities, just to let you know, in order to live a happy life. That's basically how it's always going to be. So you might as well just like give into it. And have your divine masculine give into it, or the divine masculines just need to give into it as well. Like that's it. That's just how it has to go. So the moon enhances all psychic ability and does not depend on logic or reasonable explanations. Absolutely. This is the province of the mysterious and the unseen. When Luna appears in your oracle reading, It is a message to listen to your inner voice for guidance. There you go. Is there anything else I need to say about Saturnus right now? No? Alright, so moving on to the next one. Guys! Oh, this is exciting. Alright, so the next card on a Yang level, we have Gemini, which is the depiction of 2. Isn't this exciting? So, again, the 2 columns, right? And Gemini, which is the Lover's card, which represents, and again, it's 2. They have columns here too. So this is exciting. Also, which is very interesting, they create 4, which is what we were just talking about in terms of structure and limitations, like earthly limitations. And I don't even like to call it, limitation should be called unlimitedness, right? Because that's basically what it kind of gives you the sense of freedom in, okay? But limitations is like an earthly word, so we'll go with it. But it's basically more like rules, regs, boundaries, right? And the number 4 is the aspect of grounding those elements as so the number 4 is basically saying that they're foundations that are being put into place. So it's kind of like you're regaining or you're revamping your foundational work, but also reviewing, because definitely with Mercury retrograde, you're absolutely in a period of reviewing what means the most to you, so you can also use your instinctual ways, plus your reviewing of what means most to you in terms of your values, virtues, vibes, and what's the other V? I don't know. I'll think of it. Values, virtues, vibes. Damn, I have to like put it in front of me. Values, virtues, vibes, and vows. Yeah, values, virtues, vibes, and yeah. And so basically that's going to help you along with your intuition to figure out the best, like combine both and you get your decision. All right, decision made. That's basically it. It's just very easy. And also happiness created in your right now, happiness and empowerment, which is your right now. And then happiness in terms of longevity, where you're going to feel like extra blessed, knowing that you did really good for yourself, even if it might not be the easiest thing to do, you know? There's something really that's coming out here again that I have to reinstate or just say it again. Like, there are people here, this is somebody here that is really being taken advantage of, and I'm gonna say like energetically too much, okay? Even though, so a lot of us people who exude this joy, it's very easy for us to do so, to be kind enough to give it away like that, right? But then we kind of get sucked dry. So if you can imagine, this chick can go skinny real quick because she's giving so much of herself, right? Now, the whole thing is with this card, I just want to, because there's a purity to this giving, I wanted to just reiterate the fact that, please, if this is you, in any which way of your life, because this is how I'm seeing it, like this is like if you're a mama's boy, you know what I'm saying, and you're giving too much to your mom, but yet you have a third party involved, which is like a person, and like a person that you're trying to kind of I don't know, like have a relationship with, or if this is like a baby mama drama type thing going on that's like sucking the fucking living life out of you and you're just trying to move on from it. It's like, please do yourself a favor. This is probably the time where you really reconsider, you really kind of focus in on this problem, okay? Where you need to regain balance, and it starts out by giving to you. It doesn't start out by, how are you going to people please this one, and how are you going to people please this one, but this one might not be happy, but this one, like, so there's a lot of, oh, that's interesting. So these babies I wanted to depict here before are something that I call baby bitches, okay? A friend and I just came up with that like term because of the fact that there's so many people that will suck you fucking dry and will go crying if you kind of cut them off from it. And there's more to that, right? But that's just like kind of like, you know, baby bitches for me are like victims, like that, like people that think they're you know, they're the victims of something when meanwhile they don't see the blessings and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you're surrounded by these baby bitches, who are literally like just, you know, they're around you with, you know, mouths wide open, and you're just like giving to them because you're like, oh, I'm so nurturing, oh, but I have so much to give and God has blessed me, and amen, you know, like that's basically such a beautiful way to be. But if you see that you're giving too much from yourself, where it's like counteracting the self-love that you have for yourself, which is exhaustion, right? Like you're just feeling exhausted by the end of like giving so much, right? You need to cut that shit off. I mean, you need to, especially when it comes down to the baby bitches that are ungrateful, because most of the time they usually are. Like, they're just expecting you to fucking be a certain way, expecting you to be your usual way, which is super giving, because that's felt, right? That, right, like, in a very big way, that needs to be cut the fuck off today. Like, you need to really instinctually, feel into that, but also, what was that? Just the feeling of how you feel when you know, when you talk to a person, when you initially start talking to a person, and when you also back away from a person, right? Like, how do you feel, you know? And if it's like just okay, that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? You deserve high vibe. You deserve exciting people. You deserve to be around exciting people if you are of the nurturing type. You know what I'm saying? People who are grateful, and kind right back at you, right? Like, you don't need to be around these energy suckers or these depleters. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what this life is about, and life is way too short to be people pleasing these people who are very ungrateful. In exchange for, you know, like nothing, right? Like in exchange for like a depleted self. Like, that makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, practically speaking, it makes no sense. So you're gonna have to change your ways, because the whole thing is, these nurturing beings that are giving too much from themselves, it's like we need them more than ever. So we need them to, which is probably you, we need you more than ever, and you need to be taking care of yourself on an energetic, in an energetic way, a lot better, but also, yeah, just you sticking to your beliefs, your positive belief system, with boundaries, right? So this just all makes this is just rebalancing. A lot of recalibrating and rebalancing is going on. In terms of your love, that's because Gemini is lover's card, right? So in terms of your love, you're just going to have to kind of reevaluate how you're living and the people around you. So this is the perfect time. What I like to say is reevaluate your people, places, and things, you know, and if there's anything else I'm missing as a noun, do that, you know, even maybe actions, right? So it could be like, you know, verbs. Yeah, people, places, things, actions. Oh, I like that. Yeah, so definitely those are four foundational groundworks that you have to kind of you have to realize, like, what are you doing to kind of be okay with this behavior. And you have to now start making decisions in terms of you're no longer going to be accepting of this behavior anymore. All right. So again, it's really fucking awesome. That's all I gotta say. Also, I just feel like you're having as you do this, I just feel like you're gonna have so much fun and love. Like, that's what's opening up here for you. Like, as you simplify and crack down, or like just start chopping shit out of your life that no longer works for you. Imagine how much, and that's literally what's coming in, is like a more happier, joyous, you know, love of life and just fun, because Geminis are usually very fun. As are Capricorn, so Saturnus, right? So that's a beautiful blend of, like, you're having fun on many levels if you can just regulate yourself, you know, in terms of your actions, and then also really realize people, places, and things, people, place, and things that need to go. And again, new moons, full moons, all are very good times to be simplifying and to get rid of stuff that no longer serves you, to then let the blessings come in, you know, that need to make room for it, to make space. So, yeah, and to make space when it comes down to, you know, the people in your life that are sucking you dry, that's pretty huge, and people don't realize that space is needed from that too, you know. I feel as though it's very interesting. Do I go into that? Yeah, they're telling, okay, so this is from a reader on YouTube here. It's Mana. Adina Bon is her name? Oh, Adelina. Sorry, Adelina Bon is a reader here on YouTube. Her channel is called Mana. She's such a fucking blessing. I love that bitch. So God bless her. And I say it every time I watch her. I'm like, damn, she's so good and so accurate. And I love it. And so this basically came from one of her readings today, which was, and I knew I was going to fucking forget it as I go into the explanation, but it's going to come back, where it's, it was about cracking down. All right, 18, if it's supposed to come back, let it come back. If not, then whatever. All right, I think it's coming back, so give it a second, guys. But Adelina Bon was saying how there was a trigger there that I had to go into, because she had mentioned an idea, and I was going to play off of that idea. Because that's what came to me. Was it about this moon? It was about this moon. Damn, I'm telling you, like, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna have to stop thinking, because I think what I do in this life is how I've been, I feel like my readings are being upgraded, put it that way, where I'm going to start channeling more, but the whole thing is I like to mix in practicality with intuition, which is kind of how I live, but I feel like these readings are going to have to be purely intuition and purely just channeled, so that I can literally not think, because I think that's where I'm interfering. You know, like how they say, like, get the fuck out of your own way, like that's basically like where I'm interfering with the reading. And so thank you for allowing me the space to realize that, because I feel as though and maybe this is coming up for a reason where you guys need to hear that yourself, like in terms of like wherever you are getting in your own way, that's also needing to be cleansed out, cleared and cleansed out, because, and I'm actually going to put that in as a prayer, as a type of prayer, that like that's no longer going to be the case, because I really do want this to be more of a heart channeling of sorts, okay? So, and I felt that in my heart as I said that. So it's like more so like I don't want to, because the practicality essence I think is more so like, for me it's more so of an ego based, where it's like you're trying to like further explain something that doesn't have to be explained, because again, people can feel your heart, and sometimes they just need the transmitting of the feeling of the heart, rather than you giving an entire background explanation of like different things. But also it could be like an egotistic thing for me, like a slightly egotistic thing, where it's like, no, but I have to kind of prove, you know, to people that this is how, you know, I'm like picturing it, or I'm connecting the dots on a practical level, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, there's a lot going on, and I need to simplify stuff that's going on in my head to then give you more of a clean-cut reading from the heart. I think that's basically what's going on here. So, because there's a lot of mind and head stuff going on, which is purely okay. But I have to kind of start, and again, Gemini, right? The Gemini sign on a very, like, so I feel like that's interesting. Wherever you're fucking feeling, you're all over the place. because Geminis can be all over the fucking place. Like sometimes I question, and blessings to all the Geminis, but sometimes I question, I'm like, yo, I don't even know how, it's possible for them to simplify because they have so much going on in their heads all at one time. You know what I'm saying? So, and yet they have a handle on life, like on this earth life, like so fucking well in terms of like just like getting shit done. It's amazing. It's like they know how to juggle. It's just like they'd be excellent jugglers. So yeah, so I think that's where it is. It's like the Gemini, like there's maybe this like mind, and actually they are an air sign, I believe. So it's like there's so much mind stuff going on that you need to kind of start to review, sift out, rebalance, and repurpose is what I'm getting. As the Popus, you were going to be repurposing, okay? So, and like, I'm getting it in like a weird way. Like if somebody's like mistreating you in some sort of way, and you're going to be like, okay, well, thanks. We're going to now call you a blessing. You know what I'm saying? In my life. Or, you know, just like in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I loved when I was watching the Johnny Depp version, and he kept on calling the little annoying boy, and I forgot, it wasn't the fat kid, it was the like the know-it-all kid, the one that was like bashing like the TVs and shit. Every time he would speak, he's like, I'm sorry, I can't understand you because you keep mumbling. And like all this kid had to say was like negative shit. So it was like in Charlie's mind, like he was giving that kid a different purpose to him, right? Where he was like, okay, well, since you're annoying, you're just gonna become like the mumbler. Like, and he gave him that label to be like, okay, so I just know you as the mumbler now, and my life is a little easier, not to get angry at it, not to get like back at him or anything like that. He just like referred to him as the mumbler, and I was like, this is hilarious. Like, that's so funny to me. So that's where I'm getting like you're repurposing people, like people maybe that have annoyed you in the past. You'd be like, oh, okay, so now you're actually not going to be annoying me because I'm giving you a different purpose in this life rather than being the one that fucking annoys me all the time. You know what I'm saying? So just by you either breathing, blinking wrong, existing, all of that stuff. There was a commercial on the other day that said like, it was like between a brother and a sister, and she's like, stop blinking so loud. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things that like if you're pissed off at anything that this person does, whoever this person may be to you that we're talking about, you literally are just going to be like, you know, like whatever pisses you off about that person, you're going to revamp it, and you're just going to make it work for you rather than you being like, oh my God, I got to talk to this fucking person again. And like, you know, so you're just going to kind of come at it in a more playful essence, right? Because again, I mentioned like playful and like fun in a fun way, that you're just going to just kind of start cutting out these people that no longer serve you in a more high vibrational way than you're more normally used to, is what I want to say. I'm getting it's your turn. It's your turn. All right. So that's basically, and I'm looking at that Saturnus is like, it's your turn. I don't know why I'm getting that. Yeah, it's your turn. Like to take your power back, but I also think to literally to live your life out the way that you fucking want to in terms of a freedom feeling standpoint. All right, so that's basically what it is. There's something that I also wanted to talk about this whole freedom thing. I met a person over the summer, and it was beautiful because, and thank you G for allowing me to meet this person, because I appreciated what came from it. We only had a very quick exchange. It wasn't anything in depth, but it was in depth at the same time, where we were talking about the treatment of people, and where he works, he's highly respected. And very kind person, and and we were talking, and he said to me, he said, and you know, we were talking one-on-one, and he was very vulnerable with what he was saying, as was I. And he was saying that, he said, you know, I can do anything here. Like, he was like, I can do anything here on the property. And he was like, and I'm allowed to do it, right? And he came across as if he was the owner of the property, but we both knew he wasn't, right? But the whole thing is, he said it in a way where it was like, it wasn't an entitled way. It was more so of like confidently knowing that he's done the best that he can to treat people right, so that people actually know that he's a very trustworthy person, and that because you are, when people like you, there's a reason why they like you. It's because you're trustworthy. It's because they feel that from you. It's because you've worked at that. That wasn't something that just fucking landed. Like, people are not liked because it's like a natural thing. Yes, it is in a sense, but no, it's not, because that's something that to work at, because you have to maintain that likability. You can't just expect that shit. Like, it's rarely not expected. And thank you, 18, because I am getting a download as we speak. So the whole thing is, it's like likable people work at their likability. This is not something that is just downloaded, right? So the whole thing is, and again, that's through kindness, that's through, you know, treating people right, that's through treating themselves right, you know? And a lot of people get angry, or they get, I'm not even going to go into that much of a depth, but I just wanted to say that this person hit the nail on the head in terms of how he expressed himself, to be like, I can do anything, but it's because people know that I will not cross the boundaries in order to do whatever the fuck it is that I want, right? And that's basically what freedom is all about. It's to treat people nicely and kindly. It's to treat, you know, where you're living or working or staying or breathing or wherever the fuck it is that you are in your life at that moment in time, to treat everybody around you kindly. Again, this is a kind person treating everybody around them kindly. Where it's like, it's beautiful and people are loving it, okay? But the whole thing is, only people that are of true wisdom, of true likability, will never cross boundaries in order to get what it is they want. And that's essentially the freedom that kindness gives you. So I'm talking about this because the Saturnus, I feel like that's a very important thing to be said, because we're talking about also, you know, the healing essence of freedom, okay? So which is really coming up. Again, I feel that, because I feel that within my system today, is that there was a freeness that had happened, that we have kind of grown into authentically. Like, we've authentically grown into our freedom. And when he said that, I was like, this is a true person, because this is a person that will get everything that he wants in life. And I bless him right now, because he really is a very kind person, showed me very true kindness as well. And this is a person that really gets life, but also will never fuck over another person just to have his way, because he's already super satisfied and super grateful that his trust has built such a freedom that literally he is so in control of his own life, due to the boundaries that he's kind of said that, you know what, I can't cross this, because then people will find me untrustworthy, and trustworthiness is the freedom that people need to kind of start believing in, okay? So I don't know if I explained that well, because I feel like sometimes I feel like if I mention this person, I'll explain it better. But and also it's like it's a very much so deeper. Oh, I love you too, A-Team. It's 143. It's basically, it's a person loving themselves way on such a deep level, but also balanced, but also, you know, purely generous out of their pure spirit. Again, the white that's coming out, that's exuding, is a pure spirit. So it's like, you know, that's exactly what's going on here. It's like your spirit is exuding in its balanced like essence. People are fucking loving it. and you know, and you're having fun, you're just like, you're loving it too, you know what I'm saying, because you've worked for it. So it's just kind of like there's this outpour of you in terms of trustworthiness and likability, and you know, it's beautiful. Like in essence, it's like, to me, it's like there's this golden ray of light, but also through your expression that it's happening. You know what I'm saying? So it's like your will and your expression. And also there's green monkeys here, like two green, it's funny. There's like, so there's two columns, there's two green monkeys. There's a lot of twos here. So the green monkeys to me represent like, it's your heart, it's your passionate heart holding you up. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna start living your life in a more highly fun, functional way is what I'm getting, which is fucking beautiful, because again, it's the balance of practicality, right? Functionality, and fun, which is not so practical, right? What people say, but to me, fun is absolutely needs to be at the forefront of any practicality, or else life would be so boring and you would not stick to any of those four V words that I mentioned, right? So let's not be a virgin to the V's. Okay, that's all I gotta say, because they will fucking help you really throughout your life, that it's going to be beautiful. Do I mention what I'm looking at right now? All right, yeah, I don't think so either. But so is that it, A-Team, as a reading? Yes, it is. That's what they're telling me. So thanks for tuning in, guys. This is very interesting. I love these, the Kabbalistic vision cards for the health days, because they're like super colorful, and they're super balanced. I like them. And also these are abundance, dude. And this is already an abundant reading. So this is just like double the abundance. It's beautiful. So sending all these amazing, beautiful vibes to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, if intuitively guided, with the Soul Fam. Fame and Reputation. That's what I'm going backwards. Fame and Reputation, along with love, marriage, commitment, and all of those love, marriage, commitment, and relationships, that aspect of your life. So yeah, and this is definitely flowing us right into it. So the yang of today is flowing us right into it, as well as the yin. You know, the yin is always going to affect the yang, so it's kind of like a flow. One goes into another, right? So I love you guys so much. Have a great night, and